Sarwar.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Some of the announcements in the First Minister's statement today are welcome. Some of it is undoubtedly well-intentioned, but much of it is rehashed promises from the past that have never been delivered. But what Humza Yousaf can't escape from is that he is not now running a functioning government. This is an SNP that is mired in scandal, mired in division, talking to themselves about themselves, and the crisis that now engulfs the SNP is not just an indication of how they govern their party, but also how they govern our country. A 16-year culture of command and control, of financial mismanagement, and a lack of transparency, meaning secrecy and cover-ups, often with devastating consequences. And no amount of spin or the pretense of a reset or a fresh start is going to hide what is now becoming clearer to the public every single day. Our country is now crying out for leadership, for hope, for new ideas and a new vision to confront the twin crises our nation faces. A cost of living crisis, with families struggling to pay the bills, and an NHS crisis, with patients struggling to access life-saving treatment. Continuity won't cut it. Incompetence has consequences, and frankly, Scotland deserves better. But it doesn't need to be like this. This isn't as good as it gets. Change is possible. We can have a government that tackles the cost of living crisis and brings down bills. We can have a government that grows the economy and invests in the opportunities of the future. We can have a government that can restore and renew our NHS, and we can have a government that puts the people's priorities first. But after just 3 weeks in office, isn't it already clear that it can't be this First Minister or this SNP government?
First Minister.
Goodness, not a single idea, not a single proposal, not a single bit of understanding of the policy prospectus, completely vacuous from the master of the soundbite. No substance at all style and no substance whatsoever from Anas Sarwar, because he is vacuous, completely devoid of any policy proposals of his own whatsoever. And he says the Scottish Government in the last 16 years hasn't achieved anything. What we've achieved is the game-changing Scottish Child Payment, which has helped 385,000 children under the age of 16 who are now eligible. We've established new public services, including, of course, social security. Scotland, based on fairness, dignity and respect, is delivering 13 benefits, 7 of them only available here in Scotland. We've delivered the baby box. We've abolished tuition fees. Of course, the backdoor tuition fees were something that were brought in by the Scottish Labour Party. We've abolished prescription charges. We've made sure that care is free for all when it comes to free personal and nursing care. We have now free bus travel for over 2 million people, for those who are under 22, for people with disabilities, with those over the age of 60. We've built 118,000 affordable homes. We've funded childcare. We have the most generous offer of childcare here in Scotland compared to anywhere else in the UK. And of course, the difference between Anas Sarwar and I is that when it comes to a Tory cost of living crisis, he wants to keep the powers in the hands of the Conservatives. I want to ensure this Parliament has all the financial and economic levers to tackle that cost of living crisis. And he says, Anas Sarwar says, the people of Scotland are crying out for change. What we don't need is a replacement of one Tory government with a pale imitation of a Tory government with Keir Starmer. Even Anas Sarwar must be embarrassed. I know certainly Richard Leonard will be. I know Anas Sarwar must be embarrassed by Keir Starmer appealing to the right with his anti-refugee, anti-immigration rhetoric, his inability to stand up for the most marginalised. And we know that it's only with the powers of independence will we get rid of Tory governments in Scotland for good.
I call